Hey guys, what's going on? If you're new here, welcome. My name is BrittanyNichole. I have hooded eyes and I tend to do a lot of hooded eyeshadow tutorials on my channel, but I also do a lot of beauty reviews and beauty related videos in general. Like this one today, we are testing out two new face products. I'm trying the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Foundation. This has been getting a lot of buzz lately, and when I went to pick this up at CVS, I saw that CoverGirl launched a new concealer. This is the True Blend Undercover Concealer. I didn't see any reviews for this. I haven't heard this talked about at all, so I'm very excited to try this. When I googled it, I saw that it said it had a matte finish, which typically I avoid. I have a lot of fine lines under my eyes. They're not dry, but when I use a matte concealer, it tends to emphasize dryness, at least on my skin. So usually I avoid matte, but we'll see how this works out. So we're gonna do a full wear test today. I'm gonna give you my first impressions. We're gonna try a sponge and a brush, see what we get the best finish with, and then I'll wear it all day long. So if you are interested in seeing this, go ahead and keep watching. All right, you guys, so I've already primed my face with the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Hydrating Primer. I am really loving this stuff. I definitely do feel like it plumps the skin, and it's a really nice lotiony texture. I definitely prefer that texture in a primer rather than a sticky primer. And somebody said in the comments that it smells like cucumbers, and I 150% agree with that. So if you don't like that scent, you might want to pass this up, but it definitely does not linger. I think after about 5 minutes, it's totally gone. So loving this, already primed about 15-20 minutes ago. So let's go ahead and get into the foundation. So this is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Full Coverage Protective Makeup Sunscreen. It has broad spectrum SPF 50. It says it's antioxidant enriched, pollution protection. I got the shade 110 Porcelain. I had a really hard time shade matching. I hope this is gonna work. It looked really light in store, so at first I bought a darker shade, but then I got outside in the light and it looked like 5 shades too dark, so I ran back in and exchanged it for this one. But let me quickly tell you about the claims. So Maybelline's website says, experience Maybelline's first protective foundation makeup specifically formulated to shield skin from harmful environmental aggressors. This lightweight foundation has broad spectrum SPF 50 and is enriched with antioxidants to protect against pollution. It not only leaves a natural looking finish, but protects skin all day after day. All day? Protects skin all day after day. I don't get that. Okay. Available in 16 shades. Shade range is not great. Dermatologist tested. Doesn't say if it's full coverage or light coverage. It's $12.99. I got mine at CVS, and like I said, I had a kind of difficult time shade matching myself. So I haven't swatched this. This might be too light. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go ahead and shake it up, and we're gonna apply half the face with my Sigma F80 Air. Love, love, love this brush for foundation. It's definitely the best foundation brush that leaves the most flawless looking finish on my skin. And then on the other side of my face, we're gonna be using a sponge. So this sounds very liquidy when you shake it up. So I'm gonna apply a bit to the back of my hand. That is what the texture's like. So it's not the most liquidy. It's you know, running down my hand, but not super quick. It's not as liquidy as like the L'Oreal Fresh Wear by any means. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my finger. I think the shade might be okay. Hopefully it's not extremely full coverage because I just applied a lot to my face. And then I'm just gonna tap my brush into the excess, and then we're gonna blend. Every time I'm about to film, my cats start eating food every single time, and they eat right there. So if you hear some little like noises, it's Stanley eating. So I don't like how that's blending at all with the brush. Seems very, very light coverage to me. It smells very, very much like SPF. Like I feel like I'm putting on an SPF. I don't need to cover that much on my face. But that's really not doing anything for me at all. I mean, it's protecting my skin, obviously, since it has SPF 50 in it, but very light coverage. Obviously, this side has nothing, so you can see a little bit of the redness peeking through right there, as opposed to right here, but you can still see everything. It literally looks like I just took an SPF and applied it. So I would rather use an actual SPF from a brand, a skincare brand, rather than a makeup brand if I was gonna do this. So I'm gonna just take it straight from here to this side with the sponge. It just blends so poorly. Like you could see on my sponge, it's just not blending well at all. Yeah, I'm getting like zero coverage with the sponge side. Yeah, that looks even worse than the brush actually, so I'm actually gonna go back to the brush here. That might be because the sponge absorbs a little too much, but I have seen a couple people talk about this foundation, like bigger YouTubers, and they love it. And right now, I'm just extremely confused. All right, so I'm just gonna take that sponge again and just tap over everything so it looks nice and blended. I'd say light coverage for sure. So this might be marketed more as just an SPF, like a tinted SPF type of thing. If that's what this is called, I would definitely agree with it. But I feel like this is marketed more as a, I mean, I don't know, it does say full coverage protective makeup sunscreen, but I feel like it's more like, okay, your makeup has sunscreen in it rather than it's a foundation with a tint. Like you could see all of my flaws still. If I had any breakouts, you would definitely see it. Redness on the chin, redness here. I do feel like it's a little bit itchy on my skin. SPF tends to do that. I get itchy when I have SPF on, but I really feel it right in this area. So definitely not loving that right now. Definitely light coverage. I don't think it looks the best. The finish isn't horrible. It's a little cakey right in this area. I have a little brush hair right there. It looks terrible on my nose. I don't know if you guys are gonna see that on camera, but it's sinking into every pore on my nose. The forehead looks pretty good, I'll say that. You could see the redness right here. I almost feel like I'm getting a little bit of a reaction and I really want to scratch it, but I'm gonna stop doing that. So let's go ahead and move on to the concealer, which might look awful because I think this is more of a full coverage concealer. Let's just quickly look up these claims online. Okay, so on CoverGirl's website, it says conceal, shape, and brighten with our new full coverage concealer. Say goodbye to bags, dark circles, and other skin imperfections with this lightweight concealer. The large fluffy dough applicator ensures an easy, even application of the velvety smooth formula. It leaves behind a matte finish that lasts all day. With 30 shades that match 99% of skin tones, it's easy to find your perfect match. I think this is the lightest shade. Yes, it is. 100 Fair Porcelain. Again, I had a hard time with this. This seemed too light for me, but then the next shade up, again, was too pinky and looked like it was going to be too dark. So I'm not one of those beauty people who go in and apply like and cover their entire face in concealer. I just don't think that looks good. I think it looks great on camera, but in person kind of looks crappy. So I'm gonna go in and do what I would normally do. Actually, I think that shade won't be too horrible. I focus most of the product in there where I'm a little more purple, and then I just fan it out a little bit. I am gonna put a little here because that gave me zero coverage. And then I might go in with another brush and just kind of fluff some on, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit there because it's really red. Let's go ahead and go in with a sponge first and see. I usually use a sponge under my eye. I've recently been using this Sigma 3D HD Precision brush and I love that for concealer. It gives me a lot of coverage, but since the foundation is so light, I think it might look kind of goofy. So let's go ahead and try to blend out with the sponge to start. Definitely does not look full coverage to me, so this will actually work pretty well. I mean, it covered the bluey pink areas a bit, but definitely not high coverage whatsoever. Let me go in with a brush on the other side. I'm gonna go in with this Sigma Practic Large Blend. It's just a blender brush, and I'm gonna see how that works on this side. I don't like that. All right, so that is what the complexion is looking like. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, like by any means, but it's very, very light coverage. So I feel like I would definitely rather just put on an SPF versus all of this. Like I definitely wouldn't grab, I can tell you right now, I wouldn't grab for this concealer again. It's not doing anything for me unless it magically gets more coverage throughout the day. And I would, like I said, much rather just use a regular SPF that's from a skincare brand and is gonna do some good things for my skin. I feel like it's just sinking into the pores too much in real life. So I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup real quick. I'm gonna put a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish to set the concealer. I'm gonna do just a tiny bit to my brows, throw on some mascara, maybe a little bit of bronzer, and then I'll be back here and we will go ahead and wear this for the rest of the day. So I will be right back. All right, you guys, the rest of the makeup is on. I kept everything very light to go with the light coverage complexion. I will leave all those details down below if you're interested in seeing what else is on my face. But let me just scoot in here so you guys can see what everything is looking like. I know I got a little bit of mascara on my eyelids, but it doesn't look horrible, and it definitely doesn't look terrible on camera. It's coming across a lot better on camera, but when I do a check-in in a couple hours, you'll see what it looks like in natural light in front of a window. But I'm just not loving this one at all. I can't see myself grabbing for it again at this point. It's just not doing anything for me. And like I said, if I'm gonna grab for an SPF, I'm gonna go for a skincare brand SPF that's gonna do something for my skin rather than a makeup brand. That's personal preference though. If you guys want things done like one and done, you might love this since you don't have to go in with an SPF. You can just go in, get some light coverage and have your SPF and then get out the door. So I tend to also like lighter coverage foundations when I'm a little more tan. So I don't know, if I'm more tan and I get a darker color, maybe I'll like it a little bit more. But again, personal preference. So I thought this was going to be comparable to the IT Cosmetics like CC cream. I thought I saw that somewhere, but I definitely don't think so. The IT Cosmetics has a lot more coverage than this. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna wear it for probably about 7-8 hours today. I'll check in, like I said, in natural light between there. I can definitely feel the itchiness around this area still. I feel like it's a little bit red right here, so I don't know if that's me reacting to it. I do get a little bit itchy when I use an SPF that I'm not used to as well. So again, that might just be my skin, but yeah, I'm just not loving it. It's not sinking into any lines, but that's probably because there's very, very minimal coverage here. I think that the concealer, the darkness right here is already starting to pop in, and I've been wearing this for about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes at this point. It doesn't look extremely drying under my eyes, which is a good sign, but I definitely see some pink in these areas, especially where I used the concealer as well, which is kind of counterproductive. I can see the foundation sinking into the pore areas as well, so I'm a little bit nervous that it's going to get quite cakey throughout the day. So if you couldn't tell, not loving this one, but we will see how it lasts throughout the day. So I will check in with you guys in a couple of hours. All right, you guys, it's 3 o'clock right now, so the foundation's been on for about almost 4 hours, 3.5 hours, but this is what we are looking like. Definitely feel the same. I look red, especially in this area. I look cakey around this area. I look cakey up here, and my under eye concealer is definitely starting to get cakey, and the darkness is peeking through even more. At this point, I would rather have nothing on my face than this because it looks pretty bad. So I'm also starting to look oily, and I'm not an oily person at all. So if you were oily, I definitely don't think you'd like this one. I'm starting to get these weird little white dots around here as well, which I'm really crossing my fingers it's not a reaction. I'm hoping that it's gonna come off when I wash my face tonight. But yeah, I definitely feel the same. I'm just not loving this one at all. It's definitely a pass for me, but I will wear this for a few more hours. I was gonna try to wear it till about 8 tonight, but I think I'm gonna cave around 5 just because it is so itchy. So there's a little sneak peek at George back there. I wish I was sleeping like that right now, but I am going to hold out and wear this foundation for another few hours, and I will check in with you then. By the way, I am sitting in front of a giant window, and I'm filming on my iPhone 8, so you guys could see exactly what this is for what it's worth. So I will see you guys in a couple hours. All right, you guys, it's now 6:30 p.m. So the foundation and concealer have been on for 7 hours. I obviously touched up my lip situation because that was not looking good. So you guys can really see here how much studio light impacts what something looks like. So please always take that with a grain of salt when you are watching somebody on YouTube. You guys saw how bad this looked in natural light, and that is what it actually looks like. When you have studio lights, it makes everything kind of look a lot better. So this is what we are looking like several hours after the last check-in. It still doesn't look good. I'm still not impressed with this. I actually went on YouTube to kind of look up reviews to see what people thought. A lot of people are loving this, and it looks like they're getting medium, almost full coverage, and it clearly states on the bottle full coverage. I don't understand that because you guys saw I didn't get anywhere near medium coverage with a brush or a sponge. And it also says broad spectrum SPF 50 on here. I was watching a video, I want you guys to look at it, I'll link it down below, where a woman is going into the sunscreen ingredients, and it looks like they actually only protect against UVB rays, so it's not actually broad spectrum because it's not protecting against UVA rays. So I can't even recommend this as an SPF, and I think that's extremely misleading. So please watch that video and keep that in mind if you are buying this for the SPF. Definitely just do not recommend this. As far as the concealer, it still looks cakey. It barely gave me any coverage. It pulled down a little bit of my mascara, and my darkness is definitely peeking through. So I just highly do not recommend picking this one up either. So I don't like putting negative reviews out there, I really don't, but I want to keep it open and honest with you guys, and I know this foundation is getting a lot of buzz lately. So that is it for this one, you guys. If you guys have any questions, please let me know below. Thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.